we have Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles starting off September 4th, Thursday. What a great game to start the NFL season.
Oh yeah.
Interesting offseason for both teams, I would say.
Yeah.
But for this game specifically, who do you think this is a bigger game for? Because it's a division game, so it is a big game. You only get to play each team twice, so every win within your division is important, especially in a division that people are anticipating to be kind of tight in terms of the top three teams, and then whatever you think of the Giants. But who's this a bigger game for in your mind, the Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles?
I think it's undoubtedly a bigger game for Philadelphia because Philadelphia comes out and for whatever reason, I don't care if AJ, Saquon, Jalen, Lane Johnson, and Cam Jurgens all go down with injuries within the first couple snaps. Like, if they lose this football game, this will be the most disappointing loss in Philadelphia Eagles memory, probably bigger than when they went to the Super Bowl because of the precedents. Saquon Barkley just got named the best player in the league. Jalen Hurts is still being discussed as a fringe top 5, 10, 12 quarterback, wherever you want to put him, but obviously the accolades are in place. They just came off of the historic season with one of the biggest Super Bowl wins, one of the most historic season that Saquon just had, the most points ever in a postseason, the most ever in a championship game, one of the biggest leads at one point in a Super Bowl. Like, everything is stacked up. And the Cowboys just traded their best player. Yeah. So, like, if Philadelphia loses this football game, like, the toxic Philly fans will come in and they'll be doing all sorts of crazy shit like they just didn't win the Super Bowl 180, 190 days ago. But, I think this is unquestionably a bigger game for Philadelphia because they're trying to continue setting records. I just talked about it on the show yesterday. Philadelphia is going to be looking to absolutely dominate, just decimate the Dallas Cowboys best they can. Jalen Hurts is going to have so much time. I believe that offensive line is kind of just going to be really comfortable now that the presence of Micah is not there. And it's like, who is that real light of fear on the pass rush? And I think it's going to be very tough. And for the most points they've ever scored season opener, which is 42, I definitely think they can surpass it. They're going to go for the biggest margin of victory in a season opener. They're going to try to have the Cowboys give up the most points ever, which has been 37 points, I believe, in a season opener. So it's like they're going to be going for all of that. So if Philadelphia drops this, it is undoubtedly a bigger game for them and a bigger loss for them. You're looking to continue the streak after you lost a few games and you won 16, 17 games in a row to go on and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I can buy all that. I do understand your argument, but for all those reasons, honestly, I think that's why it's a bigger game for Dallas. I think Dallas has more to prove. It's easy to say Philly because, it's easy to be the champ, or it's easy to get momentum. It's harder to keep it. So I think if they want to prove people wrong in that scope, I can see why somebody would think it's Philly. But for those reasons you mentioned, people are already expecting Philly to be one of the top teams in the NFL. They're one of the most bet teams to get to the Super Bowl again in Vegas. There's a lot of bets against them, against the Chiefs, a lot against my Bills. Like they're the consistent NFC team representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. And I think their roster is stacked. They have aliens everywhere. There's no expectation of Philly because they've already reached the Super Bowl. Nobody's expecting much. Everything else now is icing on the cake. So to me,
you're just building another cake at this point. The cake's already baked, and the cake is waiting for a slice.
They could crater this season, and it's not really going to change anything. It'll be disappointing, but not really. They just won the Super Bowl last year. So nobody's going to say, really anything if they don't make it and win the Super Bowl this year. Like, I think everybody's fully expecting to make the playoffs. Dallas, on the other hand, had a whole offseason of just bullshit. They had Jerry Jones, the Micah Parsons trade. You have Dak coming back from injury, who was playing at an MVP level. So now he has something to prove. Did that injury just derail your entire career? Or are you going to get back to a top 5-ish quarterback somewhere in the class picture? But before he got injured that season, he was undoubtedly one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL. He was the runner-up for MVP. Can he get back to that? They lost Micah Parsons, but they gained George Pickens. They gained some stuff. They got to work out the running game a little bit. They got to work out a little bit of the defense. Even with Micah was suspect, but the secondary's good. I'm interested to see how they're going to do against AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. Run D's not going to be good, so obviously Saquon's going to be a huge threat for them. But I think this game is bigger for Dallas in the sense of this is a can we hang game, right? If they go out and get blown out by the Eagles, their season is done. I mean, from the jump. Like there will already be, wow, Jerry, you done messed up the season before it started by trading your best player, and you got blown out by the division front runners. You don't belong. That will get into the player psyche, and it
Oh
possibly
yeah.
could derail the entire season. Now, if they lose the game but it's close, then that's fine. That's, to me, that's a moral victory. But imagine if they win. That it's the win. If the Eagles win, it's not a big deal, right? Because it's expected. If Dallas wins, Adam, that's a whole. Now we're Jerry's vindicate. There's more.
Oh yeah.
There's more for
Oh yeah.
Dallas to win than the Eagles to lose, which is why for me this game is bigger for Dallas, because it kind of justifies Jerry, and then it validates Dak and the team, and it kind of puts Dallas on that NFC map, where they're fighting maybe for a wild card with who we think is going to be there in the wild cards with Atlanta, or Tampa Bay, depending on how you feel about the NFC South. And just a couple of those, like the Packers, right? Like it's going to be the Packers or the Lions. Like one of those two teams are probably going to win the division, and then you can't sleep on the Vikings. So like, which team is going to have the three teams from the same division in the playoffs? Like Dallas
Right.
can easily enter that conversation with a good performance, even if they lose, if it's a good performance. But if they get blown out, man, it could be over before it really, really, truly began for